is aware of that. Jessie, can you wave to everybody? That's Jessie. I'll let her introduce herself in a minute. She is co-facilitating that with me today. Jessie, did you hit record? Awesome. Okay. And so I'm going to try and share my screen. Hopefully this goes well, being in the breakout room. We also usually have the option for the chat box. I know the last time we looked, it seems that it's the chat box for the whole symposium. So we're navigating that right along with you. But we do like to put our prompts in the chat box. We do like, if you have any questions or comments throughout, for you to be able to put it in the chat box. So we'll try and continue along that path. But again, I'm not sure how that's going to work, just being a breakout session. So here we go. I'm going to try and share my screen. Okay, so the first thing I always do is go over the norms. We did a lot of that this morning when I introduced everything. There's just a couple of things I want to bring focus to. So in a traditional circle, we often give acknowledgement while possibly not using our words to interrupt, but using our body language. And in the virtual world, that's just as important, or sometimes even more important. So you can certainly give those reaction buttons, but you can also, this is the sign for me too. So if somebody says something and you agree with them, you can give them a simple me too. You can give them a little heart with a love, a thumbs up, or just a head nod and a smile. And then, so this is where it's going to get a little tricky with the chat box. In the traditional circle, we always pass to the person on the left. Here, our screens move around. We don't always have the same order. So we're just going to use alphabetical by first names, and Jessie will put that in the chat box. Hopefully you can all access that and it doesn't mess everybody else's sessions up too. And if it does, then we'll navigate that together. As I said, I'm on here, Jessie's on here. We always like to have two facilitators. So Jessie will always start with an example. I will end each round with an example, and then so you'll see the two J's, Jessie and Joanna, will not be alphabetical, but everybody else will. Awesome. So I don't know why I did that. I should have just gone to the next screen. I apologize. To start off today, for introductions, we're going to do a quick introduction, and we do have a lot of people on the call, so we want to give everybody the opportunity to speak, but we're at about 40 minutes right now. So I want to know your name. I want to know where you're from. Are you from, what school district or what CBO you're from? And today's opening round, you should see a quote here. It says, "Same storm, different boats." And so after you introduce your name and tell me where you're from, I want you to think about that same storm, different boats, and what it means to you as you prepare to go into after school programming or your summer programming in this next chapter as we phase open. I'd like you to keep that to one sentence. So 3 things: name, where you're from, and 1 sentence about same storm, different boats. The way that we pass is I'm going to say, I'm going to mute myself and pass to Jessie. And again, you'll be able to find that list eventually in the chat box. So I'm going to mute myself and pass over to Jessie.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Jessie Owen, and I am the Director of Restorative Practices for Peaceful Schools. And yes, I am trying to function this chat box. However, it is not letting me send anything into the chat box. So passing may get a little tricky. We're going to do our very best to just pass by looking at the screen and going with alphabetical order. But my response to the check-in, I think that what it means, well, at least what it means to me, is that it's just important to remember that we're all going through a challenging time, and what our needs and perceptions are likely to be completely different than someone else's. So on surface level, we may be showing one thing, but our journey may have taken us into different directions. So treat everyone with kindness and grace. And I'm going to mute and pass to, I'm so sorry, usually this is right in the box and very easy. So I'm going to pass to Akela.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Akela Radcliffe. I am the program director for the STRONG program in the City of Mount Vernon's Youth Bureau. And my perspective on Same Boat, Different Storms is we all have a voice, and I believe that regardless of whatever's happening around us, that we should, I don't know, just be kind to each other. I just think that we're in a season where kindness, love, and the ability to reach out and help someone else is important. And I will mute myself. And so am I passing to anyone, or is, okay,
Yeah,
so
why don't we do, can we just do a simple keep your hand up if you haven't taken a turn, and then once you have, we'll just put it down, and then remember who you pass to.
Okay, so I'll pass to Amanda Landy. I hope I said your name correct.
Yeah, no, you're perfect. Hi, guys. I'm Amanda. I'm up in Troy, New York. The school is based. I work at the middle school. To me, Same Boat, Different Storms, you know, can mean much of what you guys have said already. But as I'm sitting here watching the breeze blow around my porch, I'm thinking about kind of how things hit everybody differently. We can all be impacted, you know, the same way as an after-school program, but the storm, as in our current dilemma, can hit and affect each of us in our programs a little bit differently. And the way that we deal with it may be the same, but we might also have to tweak it a little bit for our own personal needs. So I'm thinking, like, as far as the storm goes, having to adjust your sails a little bit differently because you're all in the same boat, but the storm's hitting everybody a little bit differently. And I will pass, just as she's next on mine, to Hannah O'Neill.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I am the academic coordinator at the Valley Center in Buffalo, New York. And that quote to me kind of like resonated because we're all working for the same thing to help the kids out and their families, but everyone kind of comes at it at a different angle. So the parents are working with their going back to work schedules, and we're working with our trying to get up and running and everything. I will mute and pass to Cecilia.
Hi, my name is Cecilia Zukowski, and I'm with John V. Lindsay Wildcat Academy Charter School. I'm the CFOO and project director for the 21st Century program. What that phrase means to me is that we need to collaborate. We could be in different situations, but we still need to collaborate to pull together and overcome any stormy weather in our current situation. I will put myself on mute and pass to Asha Brown.
Hi, I'm Asha. I'm the program coordinator for Buffalo Public School 92. And the quote meant to me that basically we're all in this storm and we have to all work together. And I will pass it to Amanda Landy.
She went already.
Oh, did she? I can't see her. Okay, put your hand up if you didn't go.
I think
okay.
Bridget is next alphabetically.
Diana Watts.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Diane.
I'll go. So to me, it means thinking about our different factors and everybody who works in your program. First of all, Bridget Barr, I work at North Rose Wolcott, but I think about, you know, if our program changes and people who count on the program, whether it's the parents who count on it for after school care, the students who are counting on it for enrichment, or even just the people who work for the program who count on it for the income. We have to think about all of them and their perspective and how it affects them if our programming changes. So I'll mute and pass it to Jolyn.
I'm sorry, it took me a little bit to unmute. Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, Jillian.
Okay, I'm sorry. And I apologize, I don't have video on this Chromebook. I am Jolynn Weitzel. I'm the program director at Geneva City School District. And I would say pretty much just echoing everything that everybody else says, but also being able to use our network that we have around us. I know I've reached out to several people during this pandemic because we're doing a lot of virtual things. And it's very, very different. A lot of our students don't have resources available at home. So just using our resources around us. And I will pass on to Fran.
So Fran does not have audio or visual, so I am going to read for Fran. Fran says, my name is Fran Aschendorf. I hope I got that right, Fran. And I'm located in Queens, New York with the JCC GCI. I feel that we all have the same goals. We have always traveled to the same endpoints and gotten there on different boats, but they were the same kind of boats. Being that our boats are different now, they still transport all of us and we will get there. So thank you, Fran. I'm going to pass for Fran. Fran is going to pass to Grace.
Hi, my name is Grace Latanzio. Sorry for no video. My internet's a little wonky. And I am with Northwest Buffalo Community Center. And, you know, to get poetic, I guess, I'm like into every life that a little rain must fall, and that after the storm comes the rainbow, and that's what I'll be looking for. So I'm just trying to look at all the positive, thank you, all the positive, even though I'm chafing under all these restrictions, that I'm looking for all the positives that will come out of this. And there have been so many. And so those are going to be the things that I'll be looking for in the future. Thank you. I'm going to pass to, let me look at the participants. Jacqueline.
I'm Jacqueline Gonzales. I'm the project director for After School Alternatives here in Syracuse, New York with Center for Community Alternatives. That quote is actually inspiring because we're all in the same storm, and it just kind of, like she just said, but after a storm, there always is a rainbow. So I'm just looking forward to what once we do come together and everything gets back to normal, which I don't think it will be. We have a new normal now. I always, I tell our students, when things happen like this, especially us, we try to bring normalcy to our kids. Even though this is happening, we're still doing programming and all this good stuff. So it's almost like you're like ducks in the water, looks so smooth, but underneath you're paddling really, really fast. So you're swimming really, really fast. So yeah, that quote, that's very inspirational for me. So I'll pass it to, who didn't go? Rami? I guess Deantha Watts.
Hi. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I tried to go before. I don't know what happened. Hi, everybody. I'm Diantha Watts. I'm from Buffalo State College, and I'm the program director for the after-school program at International School 45. And the quote just reminds me of the importance of that each family is different. They have unique needs in the midst of these crises, and we have to keep that in mind as we are planning for the next school year. I will pass it to Lauren Cullen.
Hi, how are you? So my name is actually Diana Vigo. I don't know why I'm coming up as Lauren Gillis. So when you said that, I was like, oh wait, that's supposed to be me. Diana Vigo. I work for Common Point Queens in Forest Hills. What that quote means to me, I think it's just really the importance of community and how we really need to, you know, be hand in hand with each other, no matter our color, you know, our, you know, just everything in general. I think that community is really important, and that we can no longer stand on our own little island. And I'll pass it on to Dina or Williams.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. It's 12:03 now. So Joanna, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I was trying to do something for my boss and got sidetracked, but I'm back now. And that's short and sweet. That is very powerful for just those few words. We are all in this together, and it's amazing how people are coming together. You know, we always will say, hi, good morning, how are you? And keep on moving. But now it's like, good morning, how are you? And people are stopping to actually wait for an answer. I think that we will get through this. I know that we will get through this. And I'm hopeful that we will all be better for it afterwards. So thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, Dina Williams, Mount Vernon Youth Bureau Deputy Director. I should have introduced myself.
Can you put your hand up if you have not had a turn yet? Elizabeth. Dina, you're going to pass to Elizabeth.
I'm Elizabeth, and I'm a co-director with, actually, I don't know how this always happens, Amanda, Landy, and I always end up in the same breakout groups. We're both co-directors for the middle school program at Troy Middle School in Troy, New York. And I think that the quote about we're all in the same storm, we're all going through the same thing, but through these hard times, we're facing these challenges and we're doing things differently, but we're all in the end collaborating. And like someone else said, we're going to come out of the storm together, and we all have different ways to get there, but we'll all do it and we'll all be successful. So I'm not sure who else has not gone yet, so I will mute, and if someone else hasn't gone, they can go.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Karima, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Wonderful.
I'll go next. My name is Karima Watkins. I'm the site coordinator at John V. Lindsay Wildcat Academy with Cecilia. What the quote means to me is that although we are all weathering the same storm, the boats that we have, which encompasses our students, family, and staff, have different needs, but a plethora of skill sets and navigational tools to thrive.
Thanks, Karima. I'm going to go back to Bridget one last time. Bridget, are you here? Okay, so she might be having some technology things happening. So thanks for bearing with us through this first round. It was a little wonky. So it looks like the chat box is working. If you could all make sure that you sign in, put your name and what site you're from, we'd appreciate that. And we're gonna have our real order. Jesse is putting it in the chat box, so you don't have to think about who you're passing it to or remember from last time. So thanks for bearing with us and sticking through that first round. So again, I'm Joanna Thompson. I feel all of those responses, and the first time I looked at it, I thought we still kind of have the same end goal, where we want to better the lives of our students and the families and our communities. But the path that we take to get there is going to look a little different. And we're navigating the path kind of as we're learning about it. There is no research on this path. I can't study the maps. I can't, look at the past weather histories for these waves. So we're just kind of getting through, but that end goal is still there. So thank you for sharing that. I'm going to mute myself. I will share my screen again. Please reference the chat box again for the new order, and Jesse is going to start us off with our next prompt.
Sorry, there seems to be a lag in my technology. Thank you, Joanna. Can everyone hear me? Great. So Joanna's going to put up a picture of a permission slip. Hopefully everyone can see it. So the whole premise of our circle today is just to kind of talk through everything that's been happening. So as you can see on your screen, there is an image of a Post-it note. In the book, Rising Strong by Brene Brown, she talks about giving yourself permission to do something, to not do something, or to feel something, and how giving ourselves permission is very powerful. It says that we can by giving yourself that permission, you can make a difference in your own life. As 21st Century staff, you were all impacted by the closure during the COVID-19 pandemic. We ask that you reflect on your time during the closure, as well as your current experiences and/or preparations for the reopenings and the transitions and all of that as we work through these dialogue rounds. We do have a little bit of a time constraint, so with the next, we have a couple rounds that we're trying to get through. So we ask that you try to keep your response as brief as possible, just to ensure that everyone has a chance to speak. For the first round of our dialogues, I would like to ask you this. What is something that you want or need to give yourself permission to let go of, to help move yourself forward in this new normal? Again, that's what is something that you want or need to give yourself permission to let go of in order to help yourself move forward in this new normal. I will put that prompt right in the chat box, and the order is there as well. So for me, I think what I need to give myself permission to let go of, I think, is just embracing my super type A, anal, organized personality, and just continuing to work with flexibility and going with the flow, and understanding that we're all in this together. I'm going to mute and pass to Akela, and I'll put that prompt right into the chat box.
I think that I need to let go of, I guess, just the fear of things not working out. I hold on to that a lot, so I don't want to worry about if it's not going to work out. I want to just go with the flow, and if it doesn't work out, then there's an alternate to that as well. So just living in the moment and allowing things to flow a little bit more freely without that feeling of being restricted, or again, that it has to be right, because that hinders us, I believe. And I'll mute myself and pass it to Amanda Landy.
Here I am again. One thing that I personally need to let go of is my hanging on to, well, I'm waiting for an answer. I just have to kind of let it go and understand that right now things are out of my control, and I can't really do anything because my hands are tied until I get the green light. And I know that the staff people have gotten a lot of clarification, but I feel like school districts have not, with regards to virtual training and the expectations of summer program. And I just need to let that go from my life until there's some formal directive, because otherwise I'm just going to continue to drive myself completely insane. I will pass it along to Hannah again.
I don't think that I'm supposed to go next, but I can go if that's fine. I think that something that I need to let go of is like always thinking about how much more we can do and just focusing on what we are doing. And I mean, there's always going to be something else that you could have done, but I think making sure that the things that we are doing are really supportive for the people that we work for is the most important thing to focus on to move forward. I will pass it to Asha.
Hi, I need to let go of the fear of an uncertainty I always need to know what's going on so that I can plan accordingly. And that's not working in this time right now. So I need to give myself permission to just deal with the here and now. And I will pass to, I don't know who I'm supposed to pass it to. I lost it in my chat box.
That's okay. So I don't think Bridget is here, so we will have you pass to Cecilia.
Okay, I'll pass to Cecilia.
So I think what I need to permission to let go of is the control of trying to ensure the programs are accessible to all of our students, and to ensure that they are engaged and, you know, are enjoying the offerings that we have. So it's been a challenge, and it's something that I get really fixated on. It's like, what else can I provide for them? And in a virtual environment, it's been very difficult. So I will now pass to Dina Williams.
Dina, honey, you're on mute.
There we are. Okay. I think that I need to give myself permission to let go of, like Aisha said, the fear of the unknown, the uncertainty, not knowing if what we're providing is going to be good enough, if the kids are going to participate. So just not knowing and not being able to control it, it's difficult. So I have to get comfortable with just doing the best that we can, providing all that we can, and letting it go, and hoping that it works. Who should I pass to next? I don't see.
We will go to Diantha. Yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I think that I agree with the things that have been said about letting go of control. I think for me would be letting go of having a structured plan. I think I'm used to, okay, this is the plan for, you know, this particular initiative, and right now we have to have at least 3 plans for each thing. So that's really difficult for me, and it's still taking me time to understand that we just have to be flexible at this time. So that's what I'm struggling with. Oh, I'm passing it to, let me see. The list was just here and I lost it. I'm passing it to Elizabeth.
I think a lot of things that I would just kind of let go of are all things that you guys have mentioned. I think that kind of relates back to that we're all going through the same thing together. I'm the type of person that is very organized, enjoys my workspace in my office because I have the 2 computer screens. And I think that kind of that unknown and kind of being stuck at home and not having all the physical contact with everyone and just all those the day-to-day things, it just seems kind of like we're at a standstill, especially about getting some draft answers about our summer programming, which I'm kind of just, like Amanda said, hung up on because I want to be in contact with these kids and let them know that what's coming next, because I think with the school year ending next week, a lot of the kids are unsure of when are we going to be in contact with our staff again, and some of the kids have to go to summer school, and I think that just the unknown is what is kind of bogging a lot of us down. So that's what I would try to let go of, the unknown. And I think I can't see the list. Is it?
That's okay, Elizabeth. Yep, you passed to Fran. So Fran sent me a message and said, I need to give myself permission not to be afraid and to trust my instincts to go forward and meet the challenges. Thank you, Fran. And Fran will pass to Grace.
Hi. So, you know, I hear so many themes that everyone's saying. It's kind of the same stuff, but and I think for me, I need to give myself permission to let go of anything, what I believe I think I know about this situation, and be willing to be open to new ideas, because, you know, I think we're going to realize that we're going to see where things were working and where things weren't working, and we're going to get creative in our solutions. And so I think I just need to let go of what I think I know, and just be okay with the ambiguity a little bit, and just stay in the moment, and not get frustrated by what we don't know. And so I think I'm passing to Jacqueline.
Let's see what I need to let go of. I mean, with all this craziness, I can agree with everything everyone has said. But what sticks out for me more is letting go of that I don't have all the answers, especially for our students. When they say, Miss, do you know if we're going to graduate? Miss, my teacher hasn't gotten back to us. Miss, you know, when is school open? You know, things like that. They miss the social part of school. They miss their friends. And we're bringing this normalcy because we see them every day, you know, via Zoom or whatever. And just not having the answers because they have a lot of questions. And when you go to the district, they don't have answers. So that gets very frustrating. So I have to just let go of the fact that we can't answer everything, but it's okay because eventually we will get answers. And with that, I pass it to Jolene.
I think I agree with everybody as far as what they're saying. One of the things I need to let go of is trying to control what's going to happen, and just being able to sit back and move forward with everybody. It's a difficult situation, and you know, being there for the families and the kids as well as the staff, and accepting that I don't have the answers. So those are some of the things that I need to go with, what the new norm is. And am I passing to Karima?
Yes, I'm here. For me, I think I need to give myself permission to let go of the idea of normality. I think for me, throughout this whole time, I've been thinking of how to keep program as close as possible as to it was in a traditional setting. And I've learned in these last month or two that it's never going to happen. So I think I just need to get out of that headspace of what I thought was normal and get used to that. It may never be the same.
Thank you. We go to Lauren, and I'm sorry, you said that it wasn't really Lauren, but I can't remember what you said your name was. Okay, maybe she had to step away. So let's go to Remy. Not here. Is there anybody that did not share?
I didn't get the chance to.
Go ahead, Bridget.
Sure. I think the thing that I really need to work on letting go is almost like the feeling of incompetence when people turn to you to be able to answer their questions and know, you know, what's coming next, how are we going to deal with this, what is program going to look like, you know, from parents, from kids, from your staff. When you're in that like leadership role, that's what people expect of you, and almost to help them feel better in the situation. You want to be able to provide that. And I know that I don't have the answers, and I feel comfortable not knowing the answers, but it's hard to be able to turn to them and not be able to help them have the answers as well. So that's something that I have to work on letting go.
Bridget. So you guys all brought up really, really valid points. The unknown is hard. So for me, the number one thing I have to let go is being able to fit back into my work clothes, because this quarantine is for real. But beyond that, yes, this you know, we're in leadership. We are expected to know the answers. It's really hard, one, not knowing for ourselves, but two, to relay that information to our staff and our families. And I am also like Jessie. So in August, I want my schedule booked for the year until June. I want it on my calendar. This is when I have to turn in this document. This is when I have to go to this site. And that's how I am. And so to not even know, are we in the schools, are our schools opening? It's tough. So I'm letting go of that and embracing what will come. So thank you for sharing. We're going to hop right into the next prompt.
Thank you, Joanna. So thank you everyone for sharing. Typically we have more time than we do, but I just saw like the 10-minute ticker clicked. So I think we have 9 minutes left, and we have another round and then a closing. So for this round, I would like you to answer the following prompt, but let's try to do it as quickly as possible so that we can get through this and the closing. So the COVID-19 pandemic changed our lives. We saw firsthand how quickly education can change. Knowing what we know now, how will you change the way that you work with your students and or families? What will you do differently? So I'll put that prompt right into the chat box. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. So I think what I will do differently is just love more. And I think that that's kind of hard to do because I feel like I give it my all, but I'm going to give it even more because it's worth it. I'm going to pass to Akela.
I'm sorry, Jessie, could you repeat the question for me again? Because I was looking in the chat box and I...
Sure. Knowing what we know now, how will you change the way you work with your students and or families? What will you do differently?
Most definitely, I think I would do a lot more student-centered activities, allow the students' voice to be heard more. I think that this is an opportune moment to change just everything in the way that it was structured, being more flexible. And like I said, just allowing the students' voice to be heard more, because the reality is that's who we are serving. And that's the basis of our program, is their success. So I'd be a lot more flexible with allowing their voices to be heard, and you know, with instead of just it being these structured activities that we created because we thought that that was what was best for them. And I'll mute myself and pass to Amanda Landy.
Thank you. I'm going to piggyback off of what you said, because that is spot on with where I was going, but I will also include that what I would do differently is to educate my staff a little bit more, my ground level staff who are regular school day teachers who are probably going through a little bit of the same challenges and changes that we are with the COVID thing. But I would do the same thing, encourage them, you know, to continue flipping their classes, continuing to do student-led activities, giving the students a little bit more of an independent voice. And this time I will pass it off correctly. I will pass it to Asha.
I would agree with Jessie. I need to love more. I'm like her. I do love a lot, but I've learned that there's more love to give and more students need more love. So I will pass it to Bridget.
I think I would be more personalized in all of my practices. I will pass to Cecilia.
I would definitely provide more understanding and flexibility in working with our students and families. And I will pass to Dina.
Hi, I think what I would like to do now is, even though we have done so in the past, is find more ways to communicate with parents, and find other ways to help the students. This experience, and I'm not going to be long, this experience brought out a lot. Things that you know, but when this happened, you really see it differently. And there are more resources out there that our parents need. And I think that's what I would like to do moving forward. I'm sorry, and I'm passing to Diantha.
Diantha.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I am going to just agree with what you were just saying, and mine is I would like to connect more. During this experience, we had to find just so many different ways to communicate with families. We have phone calls, postcards, letters, all kinds of things. And, you know, it really made a difference for the families for us to connect in different ways. So I think it's important to continue to connect more and just find new ways to do that. And I'm going to pass it to Elizabeth.
One thing that I would do is I will just kind of take the time to slow down and make those connections with our students. I think that has really helped me communicate with some of our kids during our Google Meets every day, and them feel comfortable to come to me if they need anything. And I think that's really important for us to have those positive relationships, especially now when we're not seeing them face to face. And I know that they're going through a lot of things outside of school. So just being able to have that connection with them so that they are able to use myself and other staff as a resource for anything with us being away, and just even when we're back in school, hopefully in the fall, to allow them to kind of just make those connections as well. So I will mute and pass to Fran.
Thanks. Fran says, I would make it as easy as possible for students to be in touch. If I do not hear from them, I'd make an effort to contact the students at once, not let the days pass. So very similar to what some of you have said. Whether we are in school buildings or at home, direct communication is so important. I've learned to say I love you often and to really mean it, because we don't know who will be here tomorrow. So thanks for those words, Fran. And we will pass to Grace.
I would just say that I'm going to try and be more present and just have more compassion. That's it. I'll pass to Jacqueline.
I would say to definitely listen and love more on the students. That's definitely, even though we do it a lot, but more, add more. And with that, I'll pass it to, is it Fran?
We go to Hannah now.
I agree with everyone. I think just continuing to be compassionate. I think this situation kind of highlighted the different things that all of our families go through and what their backgrounds are and things like that. So just being more aware of that and connecting to them. I will pass to Jolyn.
One of the things is just being in the moment. Usually I'm always looking to the next thing, but being in the moment and being with the students and the families, and just providing that in the moment experience with them. And I am passing to Karima.
I think one thing that I would do differently is to be more personal and direct with the family. Letting them hear from me more often and not via email or postcard. And I would like to be more flexible with their needs. Thank you.
Thanks, Karima. Lauren's screen, are you back? Okay, she had to step away. Thank you for sharing this. And yes, so I was thinking exactly what you were talking about building those relationships, and whether they're with our staff, because that's going to be really important coming back, with our students, with our families. It's the relationships that are so important. So again, we don't usually do it so quickly, but we are just about, as you can see, the clock is ticking down, just about to end our circle. And I want to leave you with this. Can everybody see that? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, wonderful. So it just says, it is not how much you do, but how much love you put into the doing that matters, from Mother Teresa. And when you think about, am I doing enough? Can I do more? I guarantee you're already doing more. So celebrate what you're doing, celebrate what you've done. Thank you for what you're doing. Thanks for being a part of this weird virtual circle that we had today. We appreciate you and we appreciate your time. And I hope that you got something out of it, and lots of luck going forward. and we should be coming right back. Jorge should be bringing us right back into full session any minute. So thanks, everyone.
Since he hasn't brought us back, the last quote was also that if you are regularly asking yourself if you are doing enough, can I do more? Then I guarantee you are already doing more than most, and you should instead be asking, am I celebrating what I have done? Less bullying myself, more celebrating myself. We both appreciate all of you taking the time to participate in this circle. And I hope that the rest of this symposium goes well for everyone. Maybe we can do our closing prompt.
How about you want to put in the chat box just one word that you feel after leaving Circle today, and then go ahead and click and get back into your full symposium.
We have 50 seconds.
Thanks, everyone.
Joanna, so I'll just stop recording now.
Yeah.
Okay.